I spend $5,000 on coffee each year. And the surprising fact about this is even though it's just a passion and I love drinking coffee, a couple hundred of those dollars have actually helped me make six figures this year. And before we dip into that sounds too good to be true territory, I want to be completely transparent on how I've done that. So, in terms of the actual proof, here is an actual cash flow statement from my reporting. So, if you're following me so far, you already know that the title of this video is explained what happened, but let me explain how it works because basically I want to talk about three things in this video. Number one, we're going to talk about how investing in your passion isn't an expense, it's an actual investment. Two, how you can double down on that investment in your passion and turn it into business. And three, the exact system I used to use coffee in this case to actually get me six figures of business in 2025. In short, I love coffee. I spend a lot of money on it. I have an interest in it, but I make more money than I spend. And before we dive into each of these points, I just want to tell you that the full-on system that I use that I'm going to explain in part 3 is in the description down below. It's not gate kept. It's totally free. It's fully step-by-step. It's fully guided. And I would highly recommend you steal it because it has made me a lot of money. And I want you to make a lot of money too. And if this vibes with you, it's just down there. And if we just met or you're new here, my name is Colby. I run this company called Autonomy Club. So I help high achieving founders who are between 25K and 80K a month get to six figures, but we're going to scale via flow and not hustle, i.e. you actually get to scale your lifestyle along with the business. All right, so let's dive into point one. Let's talk about finding your passion, and you already have it, right? But instead of feeling guilty about it and using it for dopamine, how can we actually use it as a future investment, right? So I can only talk through my own lens, but I spend a lot of money on coffee. I probably spend a minimum of like $10 to $12 a day on coffee, whether it's the premium stuff I get at home or whether I go to a coffee shop. I probably work at 6 to 7 different coffee shops a week, sometimes multiple per day, right? But here's the deal with it, especially with coffee, and it more or less is a drug. I see it as an investment in the business because every single day, what am I doing? I'm pulling my laptop and I am grabbing a coffee and I'm starting to work, helping people, creating whatever it may be. And obviously coffee is like a stimulant, right? So it helps me stay focused. The cool thing about the whole coffee shop vibe for me is I've always struggled to just sit at a desk and feel super creative, right? And all the way back to when I was an employee and they gave me a desktop computer and I begged them for a laptop just so I could even move it around the office rather than just sit in a cubicle, right? And so it's an investment to me because A, it does like stimulate, it gets the brain working with caffeine, of course. But B, it's also the environment. It actually puts me in a place where I can hear new conversations. I went to a coffee shop this morning and I was just eavesdropping, I guess, but I was overhearing, they were sitting right next to me. It's not like I was trying. And I was overhearing a conversation and it was just so funny because something they said kind of unlocked a content idea for me. And that's something you don't get when you're just sitting at home or in your office with your headphones on, right? So it works on multiple levels. The point is, whatever your passion is, and maybe your passion is coffee as well, in which case, welcome, and we should definitely grab a chat, is something that you can use as an entry point to create something valuable, right? So now I want to kind of tell you about how I've been able to use a passion of mine, drinking coffee, learning about coffee, speaking to people over coffee, as something that's made me a lot of money this year. And I want to say right off the top is that I treat coffee as coffee because since the beginning, when I wasn't making any money for it was a side hustle at the time, now it's my full time. Everyone told me that having chats over coffee was kind of stupid as a business move because it's not scalable, it's my time, all that kind of stuff. It's not proper lead gen and all that. And the point of leaning into your passion is none of anything they were saying was wrong. It was just, I didn't care because I actually liked having coffee with someone. It was as simple as that. I've never seen a coffee chat as a lead generating machine. I've never seen a coffee chat, the person who I'm having it with, as someone who I need to sell. It is literally about connecting with a human over coffee. So the point is, if you love it, don't care what other people tell you, right? If you can't maybe you love gardening and you can't possibly connect gardening to a business move just yet. I'm telling you it's possible. You just haven't figured out the through line, right? All right, so now we're already jumping into part 3, which is really, really freaking simple. And it kind of blends with part 2 is how having coffee with people into 6 figures worth of business this year. Quite literally is, at the beginning, it was just coffee, of course. And at its essence, that's exactly what it was. But because I was having so many of them, back in 2023, I probably had like 150 of them. In 2024, I probably had like 200 plus, and I probably had another 150 to 200 this year. And again, it goes back to, I did it when I wasn't making money with what I'm doing now, and I still do it to this day with no intent of this is going to make me money. It just has turned into that because I'm passionate about it. So let me kind of talk about what I call the coffee chat funnel. Again, feel free to take the full resources down in the description below. But all it really was at its essence was, if I'm going to have coffee with people, I want it to be memorable. I want it to be something that they look forward to. I want it to be disruptive in a way of nobody else is doing it exactly like I'm doing. So I just wanted to make it the most luxurious, memorable feeling. How do I do that? First of all, is I do not subscribe to, I need to sell in the DMs, I need to qualify people in the DMs, all that sort of stuff. So much of my business is based on intuition. So much of my life is based on intuition, that I feel in a very fortunate place where I've honed my intuition really, really well, that 9 out of 10 coffee chats are absolute bangers, and one of them is either average or somebody gets the wrong impression and they try and pitch me, which has happened a little bit more recently, but it's all good. So if 9 out of 10 of them are great, what makes them that way, aside from me showing up and it's just coffee and I have no ulterior motive, is I tell people and get people on chats to begin with by being on social media and posting content and building a personal brand. But if we engage in the DMs or whatever, within 3 to 5 messages, they'll more or less know whether they want to get a coffee chat with me or not, because I don't want to be in the DMs, and most people don't either. So if we're vibing there, I just cut to it and say, I'm not on social media to hang out in these chats. Do you want to just have a coffee chat for real? That's a pretty enticing thing to go for, because I say I'll buy the coffee and it's a very easy yes. It's a very short meeting, right? So that's kind of the first part. Is what sets me apart is I actually spend money by giving them a coffee gift card at the end of the call, because they have to show up to get it. And that's just different. How many people are paying to hang out with someone with no other motive? Okay. So that's the first part. And then as they go through the experience, what are they experiencing? They're experiencing, hey, I booked this call, and the description of the call is very unique, and so it's memorable. And then when they actually book the call, then they go to a page that is very unique and memorable. I even have coffee specific testimonials on that page. And so just in the first like 2 minutes of interacting with, am I going to have a call with this guy? Is it going to be worth my time? They know it's worth their time because it's different and it feels good. So almost nobody cancels the call on me. Or at least the type of people who book a call, if they have to cancel, they will tell me ahead of time. I don't have no shows. Like, I just don't, for something as simple as a coffee chat. And so when they show up and we just have an amazing time, how do I turn that into business is really, really simple. Is I want to get to know that person. And if I ask questions and they say an answer that is something I could potentially help with, it's really, really simple. All I say is, it sounds like something I could actually help with. Do you want to hear how I would go about it? Basically, I just ask for permission. And in doing so, when I break down, because they'll say yes, when I break down what I would do, then they start asking me questions. Okay, so what do you do? What's your offer? Tell me more about how we could potentially work together. So I don't really sell. They ask me what I do, and then they realize that's exactly what I need. So again, to keep this video short, it is really, really simple. Once you use the coffee chat funnel, after leaning into your passion, maybe it's not coffee, maybe it's gardening, maybe it's books, maybe it's something else. The whole point is, if you can entice people to get there, you can be memorable, and then you can ask questions to learn whether you can be helpful or not. And if you know you can be helpful, ask permission to help. You'd be amazed at how much money you can make. The point of this is whatever your passion is, it's not an expense, it's an investment. And if it's not coffee and it's something else, all you have to do is figure out, how do I turn this investment into something I could maybe use as a business driver? And once you found that, then just make it memorable, make it fun, and don't be in such a hurry to make the money. Be all about the passion and the joy, and who gives an F if it's scalable or not, because when you lean into what you love, you find a way to make it work. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you want to steal hook, line, and sinker everything I do in the coffee chat funnel, a lot of my clients have done the same and they're doing well with it. feel free to do that. Thank you for watching, like I said, and we'll see you in the next one.